the numbers have been going up again. You're not remotely succeeding in your mission to smash the gangs, are you? I mean, even you say asylum hotels where your promise is to end them close them by the end of the Parliament. That's 2029. It's another 3 years.
He promised to smash the gangs. Do you remember that? Well, 18 months later, the only thing he smashed is the record for excuses. In this clip, you're going to see Keir Starmer totally cornered on rising small boat numbers and full hotels. Watch how he still tries to blame the Tories and ties himself in knots over human rights laws to justify why he can't deport anyone. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's watch this together, and then I'll share my thoughts at the end.
18 months. You need people to have faith in you, don't you?
Yes, of course.
And you promised people that you would smash the gangs. Now, the numbers of small boat crossings actually has started going up again. The number of people being housed in asylum hotels, which you've condemned as a terrible idea for everybody concerned, for those asylum seekers and the communities involved, the numbers have been going up again. You're not remotely succeeding in your mission to smash the gangs, are you? I mean, even you say asylum hotels where your promise is to end them close them by the end of the Parliament. That's 2029. It's another 3 years.
Well, on asylum hotels, at their height there were 400 hotels, and now there are about 197.
But
now, some of that was before we came into power. I acknowledge that, but I think it is important with the hotels to just remind ourselves what the sole cause of the hotels was. The last government didn't process asylum claims. This was an absurd policy. So you had tens of thousands of people that had made their way to Britain, to our country, and they were not being processed. Now, the net result of that is, if they were genuine refugees, they couldn't be advanced. If they had no right to be here, they couldn't be returned. So you had this growing pool of people who had to be accommodated.
And
it is the most absurd policy that could ever have been conceived. Now, the only way in the long run to reduce this is to whack through process those claims and make sure that we make the determination if people shouldn't be here, they're removed. I'm really pleased we've removed 50,000 since we've been in office. These numbers are record numbers for the best part of a decade, and I'm really pleased about that, but there's no alternative. I have said I want to end asylum hotels by the end of this Parliament. Well, that's what our manifesto commitment was. No, I know, and therefore I've said to the system, to the relevant departments, I want to see that brought forward. I want to shorten that. As soon as possible, but no longer the end of Parliament. Bring it forward. I want us to close hotels. I think over coming months you'll see evidence of that, because the frustration of taxpayers that because of a mess left by the last government, we've got tens of thousands of people who are in limbo. The taxpayers paying for their accommodation because the last government wouldn't process their claims.
But that's
not good enough.
But that's interesting.
And we need to, I think, advance on the closure of asylum hotels.
This year?
Where it was, well, I don't want to set a date, Laura, until we're absolutely sure that we can meet that date. What I do want to say is I'm determined we'll close them. And I have pushed the departments to say, I want to see that timeline brought forward. I want to see this happening more quickly. And as we turn a corner into 2026, you'll see evidence of that.
While the management of all of these people has proved incredibly difficult for the government, the rhetoric and the future proposals about whether people have a right to be here has certainly boiled up under your new Home Secretary. Your government might deport the children of refugees who've been born in this country, who've known no other home. You know there are people in your party and on the left of policies who are very uncomfortable about this. Is that really the kind of actions of a Labour government led by a former human rights lawyer? I'm not sure that Keir Starmer of 10 years ago would have thought deporting the children of refugees who know no other home would be acceptable.
We're not talking about deporting children of refugees. We're talking about children of peoples whose claims have failed. That's a very different proposition.
Well, but if refugees' countries become safe, you have said you would send them back to their home countries.
One of the changes we want to make is to be able to look again at whether a country is safe, because this does change over time. You can see that in places like Syria and other countries. But just stepping up again, the refugee conventions, human rights conventions, which are really important, and we will adhere to were crafted and put into place on the basis of a model of asylum seeking that was basically an individual would flee persecution, put their hand up in the first safe country and say, please help. It's a principle we will always uphold in this country. We will always support those fleeing persecution. It's a really fundamental principle of this government. But the model, Laura, has changed. Now there are many more examples of people getting to a set of safe countries across Europe, say, and deciding which of those safe countries do I now want to settle or do I choose to settle in. That's a very different proposition, and we need to look at our rules because it is more, it is thought to be easier to work in our labour market than other countries. We need to fix that. That's why we've taken much more enforcement action. The package that we have available for how long you need to wait before you're granted status, the accommodation that you're put in. One of the things that I think drives people to frustration is knowing that if you're an asylum seeker and you need accommodation, you're put in accommodation at the taxpayer's expense, and your own assets, your own income are not taken into account. Whereas if you weren't an asylum seeker, you were born here and you wanted accommodation, your assets and your income would be taken into account. Most people would say, that's not fair.
And
It's actually painful to watch, isn't it? We are nearly 2 years into this Labour government, and his answer to rising illegal immigration is still, the last government left a mess. Prime Minister, you are in charge. You have the majority. You have the power. But did you notice the most telling part? He admitted that the asylum system has changed, that people are now shopping for the country they want to live in. He knows it. He admits the current laws are broken, but because he is a human rights lawyer at heart, he refuses to do the one thing that would actually stop it: leave the ECHR and turn the boats around. Instead, he's talking about processing claims faster. That just means granting amnesty faster. It's not a solution, it's a surrender. I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Starmer is weak, or does he actually want these open borders? Let me know below. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And honestly, did you see the fear in his eyes? As soon as the deporting children line came up, he folded. He is terrified of his own woke activists. He is far more worried about upsetting the London dinner party set than he is about the safety of our streets or the anger of the British public. He just admitted they are shopping for the best country. That makes them economic migrants, plain and simple. Yet he treats them like victims and treats you, the taxpayer, like an endless ATM.